The large language models of any kind are trained on huge data set which is publicly available. More often than not, these data sets are not really audited for any social biases. Social biases could range from very subtle to very explicit one. It could include hate crime, racism, or any gender related or any sexual oriented related biases, and it could go on and on. This is where this new research by Abiba Birhane, Vinay Prabhu, Sang Han, Vishnu Naresh Bodeti, and their colleagues have found some interesting results. These researchers have analyzed publicly available text image datasets for their proportion of hateful content, that is, content that belittles based on gender, race, or sexual orientation, and they have audited models trained on them for racial bias. Researchers found out that larger training sets can push model towards greater bias. So this is where the concern is that because all of these large language models which have been trained on these huge data sets, they just look for data indiscriminately without any care for any curation or any removal of hateful content. So removing objectionable material from such immense corpora of data is challenging, really challenging. So this is where researchers normally rely on filters like CLIP, similarity between images and text to filter out bad data, but that doesn't always work. And in order to speed this process up, they normally relax that filter. So this is why larger data sets can harbor a higher proportion of objectionable material than smaller data sets. Now, in this paper, and let me show you the paper too, these researchers have done some real good work and come up with a methodology which might let us work on few of the data sets like this one lion data set. So what they did is they compared hateful language in lion 400 mil, which comprises 400 million image text pairs scraped from the web, to similar data in lion 2b english, which includes 2 billion image text pairs which was also scraped from the web. Then they analyzed the racial biases present in these model on both data sets. Also, they ran some PySentimento library on it, which is used for sentiment analysis. It's a Python library on the text, and they found out that there were three biases they could found: hateful, targeted, or aggressive. They also assessed each dataset according to its hate content rate, or HCR, which is a proportion of examples whose probability of being hateful, targeted, or aggressive surpassed a threshold value. The results were astounding. Researchers found that statistically significantly lower proportion of hateful content in the smaller dataset, but for the huge dataset, it was huge. For example, OpenClip 400 million classified a portrait of a black man as a criminal 40% of the time, while OpenClip 2 billion did so 77.4% of the time. So, despite the increase in biased classification, um, OpenClip 2 billion achieved 1.5% higher accuracy on ImageNet, but still it is very concerning and needs to be looked into. Increasing number of open source models and consuming facing products are trained on large web scrape dataset, as I mentioned earlier. So we need to make sure that data centric AI should be responsible and it should be applicable to all the model in a safe and secure way, no matter what the size of that data set is. And the more higher quality data we will have, the more these racial biases and other biases will be removed from the models. I hope that you found it interesting. If you have any experience with that, please share it in the comments. And if you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll drop the link to this paper in video's description. Thank you very much.